Okay. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Uh, so I am live here with Brooke Adams, and I'm really excited to interview her and find out more about her story and the power of somatic therapy and getting into the body and like what does that mean and why do we need it? And so welcome, Brooke.
Yay! Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Tanya. I'm so excited to be here with you this morning.
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to it since our last chat.
Nice, nice. I'm excited to be here too. And I just wanted to let everyone know that if you're watching this, just let us know, just say hi in the comments because we're going live on StreamYard here and we can see your comments. And if you're watching the replay, type in hashtag replay. If you have questions for Brooke, type them in, or even if it's after, like you're watching the replay and you have a question about something, like type it into the chat. Like this is a resource for you guys, for you ladies. And yeah, we just, it's all about allowing our gifts to shine and flow and supporting one another. So just want to invite that into the room. And so, Brooke, um, when we talked before getting on this interview, you shared with me what I thought was a pretty powerful story that was a pivotal moment in your life. And so, would you be willing to share that?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. This is really like you're right. It was a big, big moment for me in my life, and it changed the direction that my life was heading. Um, this was back in 2020, I believe 2020. I want to say it was 2020. I was working with a business mentor of mine, and I was actually helping her like behind the scenes with her business. And she was moving at a really rapid pace. I was somebody that was new in business. I hadn't really gotten anything going. I was taking her marketing course, and then she really liked me. So she's like, come on, do the back end stuff with me. I need somebody to help me do this. I'm like, I would love to. I would love
Hmm.
the opportunity. And I realized very, very quickly that my nervous system was very, very much dysregulated and overwhelmed because of how she operated. She operated at such a high level that I had never really experienced that before. And so late in the year of 2020, I found myself super overwhelmed, not really like feeling alone, not really understanding what I should be doing, and just all the things where I was stressed out because of the holidays, and I found myself in a panic attack. I had a really, really severe panic attack at the end of that year. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have never felt like this in my entire life. Like complete chaos. That is how
Mm.
I would describe a panic attack. It's complete chaos because you don't have any control. I felt like I had no control over what was happening, what I was feeling, the emotions that were coming out. It was so much at once that I was freaking out, right? Like that's
Hmm.
basically what a panic attack is. You're freaking out and you're nervous.
Hmm.
And I didn't understand that this was a nervous system regulation. Like problem that I was dysregulated. Like I didn't understand that back then. But what I did understand is that I never wanted that to happen again. Or if it did, I wanted to know how I could navigate the situation better. So I went to my mentor and was like, hey, like this is happening.
Mm.
What can I do?
Hmm.
And she suggested breath work.
Hmm.
That was my first introduction into any kind of body based healing modality because that's what somatics is. Somatics is all about the body. And so that was my first taste of what a somatic experience could be like and what it meant to actually like connect with my body and understand what it was feeling and allowing it to feel that. And I did that every single day for like a year.
Wow.
And that's how I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But I didn't really know, right? Like I knew what breathwork was. I did the YouTube guided meditations, but I didn't understand the back end of it. And that's when I started getting into a somatic therapy certification course because I
Hmm.
was like, I need to understand what's actually happening. I know it's happening. I know there's a release happening. I'm feeling these emotions that come up, but I didn't understand it at a deep level. And somatics is what really taught me more about that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the breath, like my, and I'm just curious if I can formulate this into a question. Um, so if you're somebody that's like, okay, I know that I have got something going on that's not allowing me to access, like there's parts of our body that get frozen, and it could be showing up as, you know a chronic digestive issue, or just thyroid issue, which is all about the voice, and various things. And so when you're doing mindfulness work, you're like, yeah, I can feel that, like my consciousness, my awareness cannot access that
Mhm.
place. Like there's
Mhm.
just severe resistance. So I'm curious, like, so when you do the breath work, when something finally unravels, like what is the experience? Like it's not, in my understanding, it's not something that you can force, correct?
Right. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I definitely don't think you can force this. It's a matter of, okay, so I think the easiest way to explain this is first to explain how somebody gets into their body using somatics. And so it's just like, you know how we have our five senses of awareness?
Mm-hmm.
Our
Mm-hmm.
inner world also has five senses. So we have the five senses that help us understand our outside world, and we take in all of these things from our sight and our sound and our hearing and all of that stuff, right? Our inner world also has senses, and these are the mind, the imagination, the movement channel, or what I like, or the posture channel, and then we have sensations, sorry, body sensations, and then emotions. And what these senses help us do is they help us digest any kind of stuck energies within our bodies. So if you're having a chronic issue of any kind that is showing
Mm-hmm.
up as some sort of dis-ease,
Mm-hmm.
what you want to do is you want to just start to notice, what is the first thing that makes me know that there is something wrong? Is it a
Mm-hmm.
thought? I'm having this thought that says, my back hurts. Okay, amazing. You're having a thought that your back hurts. That's step one. You can identify that you're having this thought, right? You've
Mm-hmm.
brought
Mm-hmm.
awareness to it. You understand it's happening. You're very much in the mind, which is
Right.
fine. We live
Right.
there all the time, right? Most of us are in the mind. We're just mind beings.
Right. It's part of the deal.
It's part of being human. Welcome in.
Yeah.
Right? And so then what we really want to get good at here, and this is where somatics comes into play, and using somatic tools and practices to help you do this, is you want to find where that thought is actually living inside of your body. You're having a thought. How is my body reacting to the thought?
Right.
Is it going, oh, I don't like that thought. That doesn't feel very good. And now I'm mad at myself and I'm getting angry. And it could be more than one thing, right? It could be everything all at once.
Yeah. Right.
It's totally dependent on that person, right? Like everybody is different. Everybody is raised differently, has different conditions, has different beliefs, right? And everybody has gone through things that are different than somebody else. And so for me to be like, this is the one way that you would be able to, like connect to this thing, it's kind of hard because it could be different for somebody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could
Right.
look a little slightly different from somebody else. But the main thing that you want to start really trying to do is find the thing within your body. The mind will tell you a story. It's really, really good at playing a
Mm-hmm.
story. It's
Mm-hmm.
not good for actually digesting the feelings that you're having. Have you ever been like super, super happy and there was just like no way to hide it? Something happened to you and you have a big old smile on your face and you're dancing around. People are looking at you like you're crazy, but you just don't
Yeah.
care. You
Yeah.
have
Right.
so much emotion coming through you that it's just happening. Have you ever tried to feel sad when you're actually really happy?
Right. Yeah, no, you can't.
You can't. You
Yeah.
feel, you are going to feel the way you feel no matter what you try to do. So why don't you actually let yourself experience what you're feeling and bring that into the present moment and allow it to be what it is? Because most of
Hmm.
us, what we're trying to do is we're either trying to push it away or we're trying to push it down.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. And so, did you find in your journey of, doing the breath work and, the somatic work for yourself, like what was that journey like? Like, because my
Mm.
curiosity is around, when we have so much stuff that's we numb ourselves, right, to survive, or we think we have to numb ourselves to survive. And then, and then suddenly we realize, like, oh, I don't feel so great, like something's going on, or I'm getting depressed, or what, hey, I'm going to do this breath work. Like, what, so what is that like? I mean, what was your experience? So you had this panic attack, and you knew, okay, I'm going to do the breath work. Like, what was the journey like? Was there, um, oh, I lost you for a second.
Am I
Hold on,
back?
it's just, there we go. There you are. Um,
Yay. Sorry about that.
yeah.
My internet.
Well, mine too. I have Starlink, so it comes in and out. Yeah. What was that journey like? I'm really curious to know.
Cool. Yeah. So after I did breath work, I did notice improvements, right? Like I noticed that I was a lot more calm and I was a lot more aware of my inner world, meaning my thoughts and my feelings, my emotions that were going on the inside.
Hmm.
What was actually happening versus what I was like maybe telling people was happening. I started to become aware of these things. And then when I started the somatic certification course and I learned about fight and flight and I learned about what the difference is between an anxiety pattern versus a depressive patterning, that's what really helped me there, is because we have this thing, line of regulation, right? We
Hmm.
have the line of regulation for any kind of nervous system. And usually we're going to have one that does this, like a wave, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
It goes up, but it comes back down. It goes up, but it comes back down. Or maybe we dip below the line of regulation, but we come back up, right? That's the sign of a healthy nervous system. Is when you're
Hmm.
actually like flowing, right? Like you have waves and you're coming back into regulation on a fairly often basis. You're not getting stuck in fight or flight mode, meaning you're not getting stuck in, oh my gosh, I'm running from a bear and I have to do this or else I'm going to die, right? You're not in that mode all the time. And so what I found was that I was actually a depressive patterning. Sorry, my cat
Hmm.
is going crazy here. He always loves to be here when I do lives. I'm like, what? Like,
I know.
but I love her. She's so cute. Like, sorry. So yeah, you have the line of regulation. Sorry, I just got super distracted by her
It's okay. I
off
know. I have a cat
behavior.
that does the same. I have to keep my door shut.
Okay, good. So everybody else is understanding on this. I love it. So yeah, so you have this line of regulation, right? And I was like, oh, I'm in the depressive state, meaning
Yeah.
I don't want to feel anything because my body has learned that if I don't feel anything at all, it's actually better than feeling all of the stress and all of the overwhelm and all of the anxiety and all of those other emotions that I was like, I don't want to feel those things.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
just didn't. I learned to become very numb.
Yeah.
Numb out on social media, numb out on TV, numb out by staying alone, not going
Hmm.
out, not being social, um, not feeling happy, but not feeling sad,
Right.
not
Right.
feeling anything. I was just not feeling anything. And for a long time, I think that that was just what I needed, because obviously, like if I was overwhelmed and stressed out so much that now I'm in this deep, what we call a freeze state, a
Yeah.
deep freeze state where I just wasn't feeling anything.
Hmm.
At that point in time, the only thing that you can really do when you're in a freeze state is to give yourself time and space to recognize that you're there. What's it like in a freeze state? Okay, you're not feeling happy, maybe you're not feeling sad. Is there some kind of numbness? Can you feel the numbness?
Okay. Sorry, Brooke. It cut out. So it said, you said the only thing you can do, and then it
Oh,
it disappeared.
and then I left you hanging.
I left you hanging.
Hilarious. So the only thing you can do really when you're in a deep freeze state, and this is the best medicine, so if you find yourself there right now,
Yeah.
is to allow yourself time and space to actually just notice what it's like to be in that state.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm not feeling happy and I'm not feeling sad. Am I feeling numb?
Right. Just green
Then
lighting it. Just totally not,
you
yeah,
need to
just being
switch
with it.
awareness. Just
Hmm.
observe it. It's as if you're walking into your a friend's room and they're on the couch and you're noticing their behavior and you're actually like picking up on their energy, right? Like have you ever walked into a room and you've noticed somebody is angry
Hmm.
without them ever having to tell you that they're angry?
Hmm. Hmm.
You can feel their energy, right? Well, it's almost like you're doing that for yourself. You're becoming the observer of your feelings, your body sensations, how your body actually wants to move and express itself. So, and when you do that enough times, when you can actually just sit with the sensations that are there
Hmm.
and the emotions that are coming up without trying to judge them or change them or push them away, you're actually
Hmm.
wanting to let them in. You're
Mm.
actually wanting to say, hey, I'm here for you and you are allowed to be here.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
you do that, that is when the magic happens. Because most of the time, our body is trying to communicate something to us and we are not listening.
Yeah. Right. It's so
When was the last
interesting.
time, like, you asked yourself, you asked your body, how are you doing today?
Hmm.
What do you need?
Yeah.
Mm,
There's
mm,
so much, yeah, I can see the power in that because then you can actually tune into, yeah, what do you need really? Like maybe you just need to take a nap, or you need to go for a walk, or you need to drink some hot tea, or you need to journal or whatever. I remember at the time in my life, and I was, I've had panic attacks in my 20s and severe anxiety. And I remember talking with my brother once, and I was kind of freaked out about, I mean, it's so interesting when there's a lot of negative judgment about depression, right? Like if you're
yeah,
depressed, something's wrong with you.
wrong with
And so,
you. Mm,
right? And
yeah.
so you're like, oh my God, I'm depressed. What do I do? Shit. Like there's this feeling of like, God, I'm depressed. What do And I
Mm,
remember my brother saying to me, he's like, okay, so just be with it. Like if you actually just be with it, is it really that bad? Is it really
mm,
that scary? Is it
mm,
really going to eat you alive? Like, just stop. Yeah, stop
yeah.
resisting it. And it was like immediately, like the mind, which can not be very helpful, just you stop. It just shuts up finally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that's the goal here is to actually quiet your mind so that you can listen to your body. And it's
Hmm.
hard. It's hard if you've never done it before, or you don't know how to do it, or you don't practice it. Like this didn't happen for me overnight. I didn't wake up one day in the somatics it's a 2 month certification, but at the end of those 2 months, I still didn't really know.
Hmm.
I practiced everything that I learned within that course, and I took on clients and I did practice calls and I did all of these things for over a year before I think I really started to understand the modality.
Yeah.
And that's just simply because there's so much to it, right? And I was also on my own healing journey. So I had to heal, right? Like I had to actually freaking heal myself
Yeah.
before I could really understand what
Yeah.
somatics was. Like
Yeah.
and it's all about the practice. You have to practice it if you're really wanting to understand how to heal your nervous system. It's not just something you do one time and it's like, oh my, I'm back to regulation. I feel good. Yeah, you might get to regulation,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
I can get somebody to regulation in the first session to where if they're stuck up here and they're running like anxious and they're
Yeah.
worried and they're just go, 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 I can get them back down to the regulation line. But chances are, if we don't continue to practice what we've done, they're going to go back up because it's their habit, right? Like
Right.
it's
It's
just
well that
maybe what
right.
they're used to, right? It's what they're used to going to. Well, I was the same way. I would be down here. I'm depressive. So I'd be down here numbing out and I'd have days where I would come back into regulation. I could actually feel some emotion.
Hmm.
And then I started to do it more and more. I would start to bring myself up into regulation more and more. And I realized I had a lot of stuck emotion, a lot. And so I had
Hmm.
to process those emotions because they would come up all at once.
Right.
I'd be feeling all of these things I had repressed for who knows how long.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Which is so, it was, if you don't have the tools or you don't have the proper support, it can be really scary. So like I was just really grateful not to have like a community there, for support. And that's why I always recommend, obviously, like getting a somatic healer, facilitator, or therapist that like is certified and knows what they're doing, because
Hmm.
oftentimes we really need somebody to support us, especially when we're working through really big traumas from the past.
Oh yeah, totally. I agree 100%. I mean, there's definitely something to be said about, working on yourself and doing things for yourself and, taking the bull by the horns but there's something so what's the word? There's just a deep nurturing. Like I
Mhm.
feel like for whatever reason as women, like we don't take the time to really give to ourselves generously. We
Mm.
think, like I don't know if well, a lot of it's either guilt, like, oh, you're being selfish. It's all the judgments, like, oh, you shouldn't, don't spend money on that. You should be spending money on your children, or, all the things
Mhm.
that we do to like, no, I'll just skimp here and skimp there, whatever. And it's like, you know, by giving generously to yourself and like hiring somebody such as yourself or whoever, it's like it, first of all, it allows you to be like, there's a part of you that can actually let go and be like, you know what? I've got
Mhm.
someone that's got my back. I'm not doing this alone because it really opens up, you know, something more for you to just to be able to receive and let go and be seen. Like I really do believe
Yeah.
that we're meant to heal in relationship. Like we need those those mirror neurons. We need someone to be interacting with, reflecting back to us. Like because when we're having those moments and having someone just there to hold the container and say,
Mm.
"You're okay. Like
Mm.
you're not
Yeah.
alone. I got you." Like you're just, just to, because otherwise you can spin out.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, you need somebody. We all need somebody there. I definitely don't think like our healing journey should ever just be by ourselves. Is it nice
Hmm.
to have the tools and the practices for when you just don't have that, right? Like there are
Hmm.
going to be moments in your life where you can't just call up your therapist, right? You're going to have
Hmm.
to like deal with it on your own, and to have the tools, that's nice. But there's also like having somebody there for support and to help you really process some of the bigger things that come up in life and some of the bigger stresses that come up in life is just so helpful. I know the same has gone for me, especially even just like pointing out my blind spots where I'm not even recognizing it
Hmm.
because it's so unconscious and it's so deeply ingrained and patterned in me that I don't even recognize it.
Yeah.
I need somebody there to tell me, hey, like this is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, those blind spots are so real. And, they're just so real. And, God bless the people that are courageous enough to say, like, excuse me, you got a major blind spot here. Can I just communicate that? And then you're like, what do you mean? And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think a
Um,
good like healer or somatic therapist will call their clients out. If you don't call your clients out and actually let them know like what you're seeing as like an expert, then you're
yeah,
doing them a disservice because they're literally there for your expertise. So don't hold back.
yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
So you're going to share with us a practice that we can do for ourselves. Yeah. So tell us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you brought this up just a moment ago where you were like, we just don't give enough to ourselves, because this is actually a great practice for self-love.
Oh, yay.
This is just a beautiful, beautiful, like short little practice that you can do whenever, honestly. Um, and yeah, So I just suggest that everybody, if you're driving or you're listening to this in the car, don't do this exercise right now. I'm going to ask you to be closing your eyes. So just go back and watch the replay if you're like driving or something like that. Or if you're watching the replay, like get somewhere where you're comfortable and you can just have a moment to yourself, right? Whatever that looks like for you. And when you get there, when you get settled in your seat, I'm just going to go straight into it, Tanya. I hope you don't mind.
Okay, I'm going to close my eyes.
Amazing. Yeah, actually, just for a moment, just take a look around your room before you close your eyes. So just notice what is in your room. Notice if it's familiar or are you somewhere new. Just, begin to bring awareness to that. And then when you're ready, you can close your eyes and you can take a big, deep breath. And I want you to allow this breath to fill you up and just kind of center you here in this moment. And as you exhale, I want you to begin to feel wherever you're sitting. To start to notice your seat. What does it feel like? Is it coming up to support you on each inhale? And are you allowing yourself to sink deeper on every exhale? So allow yourself to be present and bring awareness to this moment. And I want you to bring your awareness into your heart space. And I want you to set an intention here. Just ask your heart what it's desiring for today. That might be a word, or maybe it's a phrase, or maybe you're just noticing that it's just this type of energy. Whatever it is for you, just allow it to be there. And I want you to just really take note of what it is. And I want you to allow this energy or this like intention to grow. So allow it to expand outside of your heart space and allow it to actually begin to seep into your room. And just notice what it's like to have that intention and that energy surrounding you as you journey here with us today. And now I want you to give yourself a hug. And I want you to just give yourself some love here, whether that's words of affirmation or praise, or maybe you're just feeling the energy of love flow into your body. Whatever feels good for you, just take a moment to do that here. And I want you to just really notice whatever sensations are coming up, whether you feel like warm or tingly, or maybe perhaps this energy has a color. I want you to bring this sensation and this imagination and all of this to life. Bring that love to life, whatever that looks like for you. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and let go, or if you feel like staying in a hug, that's fine. And I want you to start to just bring awareness back into your body. So back into the seat that you're sitting in, noticing that it's supporting you. Bring movement into your fingers or into your toes. Start to wake your body up. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and you can take a look around your room, just like we did to start. And as you come back into your space, I want you to just notice if anything is different now that you've done this practice. Are you feeling differently about the room that you're in? Are you just feeling differently about yourself? What came up for you? Was it something maybe unexpected? Maybe you were like, oh man, that was kind of hard for me to receive that love from myself. Okay, like let's just notice that.
Hmm.
And I'm curious, Tanya, since you're on here with me, I would, if you're open to sharing, like,
Yeah.
what did you notice as you were just giving yourself a hug and just like letting yourself love yourself there for a minute?
Hmm. Well, I definitely felt this, joy in my heart, like, oh, my heart wants to experience joy. And when I asked it, what does my heart need? It's like, oh, joy, so there's this lightness. And then I could also feel, um, almost, stepping back from joy. Like, so there was this sort of, the yin and yang, or the polarization of joy and like not having joy. So I felt that, like, going
Mm,
back and forth.
mm,
Um, yeah, and then of course, like when I was holding myself, my imagination was activated of like, oh, what is joy like? What does joy look like? And I was imagining like being with my friends and laughing and all of that. And I definitely felt when I came back out of it, it was like my energy, it was definitely moving in my body. That's what I felt. This kind
mm-hmm.
of pulsation. Um, yeah. And I could also feel like, oh, yeah, there's some stuff in there
Mm-hmm.
that, you
Yeah.
know.
Mm-hmm. That's funny because that's usually what happens, right? In this in this practice, I see this all the time. It's just
Mhm.
so simple. We took 60 seconds to send ourselves love
That was
and
only
feel
60
that.
seconds.
It was not that long, y'all. Like it was not long. And look at how powerful that was for her, right? Like, and I'm sure y'all experienced it too if you were following along with this video and you were doing the exercise. I'm sure you felt something as well. And I see this all the time where we start off in a place of calm, joy, whatever we're desiring, right, in our heart, and we can bring that emotion to the surface. And then it's almost like we bring that emotion to the surface and then we have something else that comes with it. The true feelings, right? Of like, oh,
Mhm.
like I'm feeling like Tanya was like, oh, there's an absence of joy. So I was like teetering back and forth between like joy and the absence of joy and joy and the absence of joy. And she could tell that there was something in resistance to her just being completely in the joy. And this is what we can do with somatics is we can start to notice those parts of ourselves that are just not on board with what we want. Okay, this part of me is not on board with what I want. So where is this part of me living in my body? And can I do the same thing that I just did with the joy? I was able to find the joy pretty quickly. Can I also do this with the resistance? Can I also do this with the restlessness that's within me? I like to call it restlessness because it's like it's this stuck energy within and it's just going, 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 and it has nowhere to go. We need to allow it to move and we need to allow it to express itself, but we have to actually listen to what it wants to do in order to do that. We have to
Yeah.
place our awareness there, right? Like joy makes you actually move in a way, right? Maybe you're
Mhm.
smiling or you're laughing
Mhm.
or maybe you're skipping around town because you're just so excited. What does sadness make you do? What
Right.
does feeling afraid make you do? What does feeling ashamed or guilty or angry? What does your body want to do when you feel those emotions? And can you actually let yourself express them in a healthy way so that you feel better? Because on the other
Mhm.
side of allowing yourself to feel whatever is in the way is pure clarity, bliss, alignment. Like it's
Yeah.
just like, there's nothing in the way of me experiencing joy in this moment or ever again.
Yeah.
We bring ourselves here. And we have the power to go within and do that with these simple and easy practices that can help change our freaking lives. You do this
Wow.
practice every day for the next 30 days, and I guarantee you something will shift, something will change.
Yeah.
And you can extend it, right? Like go in, allow yourself to feel that love. But then when that other thing shows up, be just as present and available for it to be there as you were for the joy
Mm.
and see what
Oh,
happens.
wow. I'm just like processing everything you said. It's just so
Yeah,
deep.
take time.
It's so deep. It's so deep. It's so deep. It's so deep. I mean, this is the path. This is the path of transformation. It is embracing everything. And it's like, you know, takes courage. So if people if people want to work with you or contact you, where can they find you?
Yeah, amazing. So I have a couple of ways that people can do this. First and foremost, I'm on Facebook the most. So if you want to get a hold of me on Facebook, this is where you're going to find a lot of my things.
Hmm.
And so I can either give you that link, Tanya, or whatever you want me to do there.
Hmm.
It's Brooke Adams, so you guys can also just like search me. If you're friends with Tanya, you can go on her profile and find me from there as well. And then there's a couple ways that you can work with me if you're interested. If you want to have some somatic sessions yourself and you're like, oh, I really, really like this, but I want to go in and have like a full blown session, it's going to look a
Hmm.
lot like what we just experienced here, except it's going to be longer and I'm going to allow you to actually get into those feelings and those sensations so that we can move to the other side. And so that I can start to get to know you and your nervous system. Then you can do private sessions with me. I do take one-on-one clients. So you're more than welcome to just send me a message and we can chat and see if we're a good fit. And I usually
Hmm.
do like an intake process and all of that good stuff. So if you want to get that going, just feel free to reach out to me via Facebook Messenger. That's the best place. I also am starting a online membership for exclusively for healers and light workers. So
Mm.
if you're out there and you're wanting some support, it's going to be mainly for women. So women, female entrepreneurs, healers, all of that good stuff. And you want support and you want to learn more about somatics, but you're not just quite ready to have a session. You want to learn more about it. I'm opening up a membership where you can come in and we're going to have live monthly calls like this where we go into topics and different things that are coming up for our members, and we're going to actually like practice embodying these things and these tools and these practices that can help us in a
Hmm.
community, right, of like-minded
Hmm.
individuals and women and all sorts of like different healers are going to be in there, so we're going to be able to learn from them as well. Right now it's $55 at the founding price. I literally just opened it. That price will be available to everyone until May 4th. That's going to be our opening ceremony where we're going to set intentions and then we're going to kick the membership off from there. There's also going to be a Telegram chat. So I'll be dropping bonuses and things like that inside of there. So it's going to be a really great place to join. And then
Well,
it goes up
sounds.
to 77 after that.
I'm typing this in the chat. And so to, is there a link to that or should people
Yeah,
just contact you?
I can get you the links and everything.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Just,
right
yeah.
now it's just let me know if you're interested, and then I can get you everything that you need. But
Okay.
yeah, that's the best way to get a hold of me.
Excellent. That's so great. Yes. I just love this so much because, yeah, somatic therapy is so important. Like, we can't, the spirit and matter has to come together. You can't just live up here and vice versa. You can't just live in the body and deny the spirit, right? Like, so somatic
Yeah.
therapy to me just seems like it's a no-brainer. Like, if you want to unlock and open greater capacities and to be able to hold more and expand, I mean, that's what it's about, right, Brooke? It's like, yes, there's a nervous system regulation, which is important, but it's like, if you have a vision or a goal of, like, wanting to bring more into your life, well, you've got to open, your nervous system has to
Mm.
be able to handle more and to
Mhm.
expand and to,
Mhm.
and so it just touches, it's just, yeah, it touches on so many different levels. Not, even though you're working with the body, you're working with all the levels of
All
your
of it.
being
I
all at
agree.
once.
I
Yep.
totally agree. And yeah, this is the number one thing that like I just want to throw this out there because I see this so much. Are don't go in on a healing journey to heal. Go on a
Mm.
journey to living the life that you actually want to be living and feeling the
Yes.
things that you
Hmm.
actually want to be feeling. So instead of being
Yeah.
like, oh, I need this somatic therapy session because I'm having this chronic pain in my neck and it just won't go away and I hate it and I just want it to go away. Go into the somatic session saying, I want to be so comfortable in my body and I want to feel so good in my body that I wake up every day just wanting to jump out of bed and get going. I want to
Right.
exercise. I want to move. I want to feel vitality. I want go
Yeah.
for that. And
Right.
that that will change
Yeah.
everything if you
Right.
start to do that. If you actually go after what you want and start focusing on that versus what you don't want. Go after what you
Yes.
do. Just focus on that, and everything else that's in the way will show itself
Yes. Yes.
eventually.
Yes.
So,
Imagine waking up and just loving life. I mean, as children, you remember? I mean, you would wake up and you just be
waking
like,
up.
I just, today's a new day. Like, I get to go play with my friends. And why don't, it's like life is this. And then as
Yes.
adults, we start to just, so it's like, we gotta wake up and love life. And that's
Wake
just where
up.
the amazing creation. There's so much available to us. So much.
I
Yeah.
totally agree. Oh my God. Beautiful.
All right. Well, Brooke, thank you so much. And then we've been on for a while. And thank you to everyone who is watching or has watched the replay. Next interview that's coming up is Erin Tredowin. I never asked her how to pronounce her last name, but Erin, she's going to talk to us about organizational energy and how to work with it. So she's a constellator and like myself, but she works with business. So that's what's coming next. Yeah. Thank you, Brooke, so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate the opportunity. And I enjoyed it so much.
You're welcome. Bye.